The only thing you need to be consistent about is getting your needs met. And what I mean by that is that so often we try to set these rigid routines, a morning routine, an evening routine, a weekend routine. And there's nothing wrong with routines. They give us structure, they give us order, and by and large, they, help us feel safe in the world. However, a lot of times when things come up and when we have different needs, we get really frustrated because we find it difficult to keep up with our routines. And then we tell ourselves stories about whether or not we can be consistent. And I was thinking this morning because, okay, I'll start off with this morning, what happened this morning. Or I should say last night. I didn't get a good night's sleep. And I haven't gotten a good night's sleep in about 2.5 years, or maybe 3, since getting pregnant and having a baby. But occasionally, my daughter now sleeps in her own bed, in her own room. And so occasionally I still get, decent sleep, right? I also have a cat, so I'm always being awoken by somebody. But I had my daughter climb all over me this morning, around 5 a.m., maybe 4:30. She couldn't sleep anymore. So, she was going to make sure that we need that. And so I didn't sleep, and I woke up feeling so depleted and so drained. And so I did what I usually do. My husband was getting her ready, and I was like, okay, I have a minute to collect myself and look at what's coming up for me and what's showing up for me. And there was sadness. I could tell by how my heart center was feeling. There was disgust. I could tell by how tense I was. And I thought, okay, we're not doing anything until we take care of ourselves. And that is a consistent practice that I have. That's my routine. When I wake up on mornings and I'm like, I'm good, everything is good, I go about my day, I focus on what I want out of my day, I set my intentions, I focus on my desires. When I wake up on a day like today, where I'm like, oh, no, there's a lot of stuff here that I need to tend to, then I focus on that and I prioritize that. Right? Before, when I was early on in my healing journey, before I knew what I knew now about emotions, I was like, okay, I'm just going to do this morning routine every single day in the exact same way, no matter what, because that's what some guru online told me I needed to do as part of self-care. And I was like, that's not really working for me. At a certain point, it wasn't sustainable. It led me to a lot of shame. It led me to a lot of guilt. It led me to feeling like I wasn't doing it correctly, which is, again, if you've read my book or if you've worked with me, you know that shame and guilt is always kind of showing us and reflecting back to us where we are out of alignment with our beliefs and how we're looking at things and how we're defining things. So I was like, okay, that's not the aligned way for me to operate like that. I needed to find another way. And so now how I show up for myself consistently is by checking in with what I'm feeling, what's showing up for me that morning, what do I need that morning? So for example, this morning I needed sleep, right? I.e., I had a need of the body that wasn't getting met. And so a lot of times people will think, and I did as well, early on I did as well, oh, well, if I'm getting this need for, if I need sleep, then if I don't get sleep, that's it. It's just going to be awful. I can't do anything about that. And it's like, we can always adapt to our present circumstances. And that's what Discuss prompts us to do. Okay, how can I work within what is happening, right? I can't change what's happening. I didn't sleep. I have a child. This is my life. Okay, but how can I work within the frame of my life? And when it comes to our needs, we have these 4 categories of needs. So while, yes, I need sleep, right, specifically, that is just one of the needs that my body has. And so, okay, what other kind of healthy ways can I fuel my body? Can I re-energize? Can I take care of my body, right? Because that's ultimately what sleep allows us to do, is to take care of our body and our minds as well. So knowing that, okay, it's about taking care of my body and my mind today, I got up, I did some exercise, I did some light movement, I got my foam roller out, I got my acupressure mat out. All of this was 10 minutes, truly, maybe 15 minutes tops. I did a really short workout, just intuitively, right? I just did the moves that I, just to move my body in some way, very, very light weights, very, very light resistance, but some still to kind of get my muscles to work. a light warm up, and then stretching, rolling, laying on my AcuMat, even if my daughter was climbing all over me for the entirety of it. I'm not going to say it was like a spa, right? But I was giving my body what it needed. And now I'm recording this for you. And after this, I'm going to go for a walk and get some fresh air. And that's going to allow me to give my mind some space and also move my body and give my body movement. Of course, I'm drinking a coffee because it's my life force. But I'm enjoying my coffee and I am excited to go on my walk. And I can honestly say, just from the light movement I did, just from the, resting, rolling, all of that stuff, just focusing and prioritizing my body and my mind this morning, because that is what I need. Now, that isn't the case every day. And it's not the case all day, every day, right? But the way that I keep showing up for myself and the way that you can keep showing up for yourself is to always be checking in. What do I need today? What do I actually need today? Because as much as a fitness routine is great and it's important to move my body, sometimes I have other needs that need to be prioritized. Sometimes I have other needs that have been neglected that I'm like, you know what? It's great to move my body and I can maybe do that later. But right now, I need to do this other thing. I need to find a way to create something. I need to tend to the needs of my spirit or the needs of my heart or the needs of my mind. And so when it comes to setting routines, creating habits, it's not that anything's wrong with these things. These are very supportive tools that we have, but ask yourself, when do I need to apply these tools? And apply them when you need to apply them. And that is how you're able to remain consistent. That's how you're able to keep showing up for yourself, right? I realized, okay, today I realized that I haven't really hung out with my friends in a while, or I haven't really had any quality time by myself. And so I'm going to prioritize self-care activities that get that need met. But again, another day, it's going to be something else. You don't need to stick to any one self-care routine. Just because something made you feel good yesterday doesn't mean it's going to be what makes you feel good today, right? Because maybe yesterday, that's what you needed. So anyway, wrapping this up to just remind you that consistency is a really scary word at times, but all it really means is to continue showing up for yourself day after day. And that doesn't need to look one way. Consistency doesn't need to look one way. It needs to be around the principle of, what do I need today? How can I take care of myself today? And showing up for yourself in that way, checking in with yourself first and foremost before taking action. We always want to just take the action, and sometimes the action helps and we get a bit of momentum. But if you can practice pausing and reflecting and deciding before taking the action, it's going to be far more effective. So remember, the only thing you need to be consistent about is taking care of your needs. See you next time.